AITA for telling my best friend why I wasn't attending his wedding. Me, 32M, and my best friend Alex, 32M, have been friends since diapers were basically family. After college we both moved back home so we could live at home and get our feet underneath us. Alex started dating Stella, 35F, a lovely girl, around 4.5 years ago, and from the get-go she seemed to politely dislike me. Alex and Stella moved across the country in 2021, after Stella earned a promotion at work. In 2022 Alex proposed, she said yes, and they set a wedding date for the end of September 2023. I got a save the date card at the beginning of the year, and based on the conversations I had with Alex assumed I would be in the wedding party. Either as a groomsman or the best man, but never received any official confirmation from either of them. Couple months before the wedding I saw that wedding invitations had gone out on social media, and figured mine was en route. It never came. I waited a couple weeks, figured it might have just gotten lost in the mail, before I checked in with him. I called Alex and had a brief conversation with him where he was clearly agitated and said he was dealing with a lot, would be incommunicado for the near future, to direct any wedding-related questions to Stella, and he'd called me when things cooled off. I called, texted, and emailed Stella several times over the course of a week but she didn't respond to any of them. At this point I figured I wouldn't be attending the wedding, and that things were really effed up for some reason between the two of us. Yesterday, a little over 3 weeks after our last conversation, Alex DM'd asking if I was free to chat. I jumped at the opportunity to get some answers, and after exchanging pleasantries Alex jumped right into a spiel saying that he knew I was super busy with work and dealing with a lot of personal stuff but he'd love it if it could attend his wedding even just as a guest. And wanted to know if there was anything he could do to help make that happen. I just blurted out that I'd love to but hadn't received an invitation. Alex stared blankly at me and said, "What?" And I just kind of verbal vomited out that I hadn't received an invitation. That was the reason I'd called him a few weeks ago, that I'd contacted Stella about it but she never got back to me and left me on red, and that I had not idea what he was talking about me dealing with too much to be involved in the wedding. After a very pregnant pause, he said he needed to go sort things out and that he'd call me when it was done. My phone's blowing TF up since with wedding attendees asking me WTF happened and why the wedding might be off now. My girlfriend has reaffirmed to me that I did nothing wrong. Relevant comment, this doesn't make any sense. If this story were remotely true, A, it wouldn't be posted here because the OP literally did nothing that could even be described as asshole adjacent. B, the whole supposed invitation mix-up would have been figured out a long time ago, because the OP is apparently close friends with so many other wedding invitees. And C, if the groom wanted the OP to be in the wedding, he would have reached out himself, not had the bride go back and forth with the OP about his busy and stressful schedule and personal life without once asking to read the emails/texts or picking up the phone to contact OP himself. OP replied, "When you've got a bunch of people spamming your phone it makes you question whether you were in the right or not." B, I didn't want to cause a bunch of drama and make shit worse for what I though was an honest mistake at first. Blowing a whole friend group when the person you're going against is way better liked than you is a dangerous choice. Also a lot of those people just assumed I was invited. C, Alex is pretty easily overwhelmed and tends to defer. One of the reasons he loves Stella is she's a go-getter who will handle stuff for him. IDK why he didn't or why he had to go incommunicado though guess he'll find out soon I hope. Update, Alex and I texted Tuesday night/Wednesday morning. He said he was handling stuff and asked if I'd be free to talk Thursday afternoon with him and Stella, which I agreed to. This is just a rough summary, and I probably forgot some stuff. Frankly I'm too mentally fried to weave a narrative RN so it's just gonna be bullet points. A couple of pieces of info about Alex to provide some context. Alex was raised fairly sheltered and religious until he was 18, when he went to college and opened. As a result he still has some IDK, blind spots about certain things. Alex has mild to moderate OCD, it's managed with low levels of medication and maintenance therapy, which is one of the reasons he gets overwhelmed easily, especially from unexpected stressors, and weddings are chock full of those. The wedding, it's still happening, I will be the best man, and I've been read in on all the shit I need to do. The person who was filling in for me, Matthew, 34M, one of mine and Alex's good friends who's also neurodivergent is thrilled to not have spent the day peopling and can instead party his ass off. As a result of this cluster F Alex/Stella/whoever parents are paying for the wedding will be comping me GF's plane tickets and hotel stay and my best man tux. What was the main driver of this mess in the first place? Stella's pregnant. They found out a couple days after the wedding invites got sent out. Apparently they were passively trying, then actively trying in 2022, but stopped and swapped back to heavy BC once the save dates went out because Stella did not want to be pregnant on her wedding day. This led to several changes to the wedding through a bunch of other planning into disarray. Sent Alex into an OCD hole for a couple weeks, which is why he was agitated when I called him, and why he needed time to get his head around it all and get the intrusive thoughts managed. And one of the reasons why Stella ignored/missed my messages/calls. Why did Stella not respond to my messages? Besides surprise pregnancy, Stella said that she's on her phone for work a ton, and gets hundreds, if not thousands of emails/texts/calls per day. She misses some stuff, especially since she didn't have my contact info saved, lol. I also emailed her work email instead of personal email which I don't have, and my own personal email handle is not my name. In future I was told to be more insistent in my communication with her to break through her everyday noise, duly noted. What happened to my invite? Stella claims that she sent me one but must have sent it to my old address. I did move in March to my current residence and the save the dates were sent out in January. What did Stella tell Alex about me not being in the wedding? Apparently nothing. According to Stella, he either 1, believed one of his intrusive thoughts was real when he was in his OCD hole, 2, he got confused when she told him one of her cousins with a similar sounding name to mine wouldn't be attending, or 3, some combination thereof. According to Stella, she always wanted me in the wedding. Why did Stella not contact me after I didn't RSVP back? She assumed there was something going with me and Alex and that we'd sort it out and he'd tell her. In the meantime she was busy with work, wedding planning, and unexpected baby. How did a bunch of wedding guests find out about this mess? Alex called his mom for advice after our convo. Mom had church friends over. Church ladies overheard a good chunk of their convo. Church ladies are gossipy people. Alex has spent a decent chunk of time the last couple days putting out fires, so to speak. After about an hour Stella left to go deal with some wedding stuff and me and Alex chatted about shit for a couple hours. Do I believe Stella's explanations? Kinda. The baby's real as far as I know, confirmed by medical professional. She does have a cousin I know she's close with who has a similar sounding name to me, and she does work from her phone a lot, but the rest of it just seems a little too convenient, and I feel like I'm left with more questions than answers. Good news is since I'm in the wedding I should have great access to figure out WTF is going on, I hope. Relevant comments. What I don't understand is, how did Alex expect you to know you were his best man without asking you previously? Shouldn't there have been some conversations about your best man responsibilities? Why was there someone filling in for you? I find it super weird that none of the other groomsmen reached out to you. Shouldn't there have been a group chat or something to plan a bachelor party? Were other groomsmen formally asked to be groomsmen, or was it just Matthew assuming he was the only one? OP replied, it's an OCD thing according to him, couldn't find the right time to ask me so never did and just acted like I was going to be the best man. I find it super weird that none of the other groomsmen reached out to you. Shouldn't there have been a group chat or something to plan a bachelor party? Alex didn't set his groomsmen until around 6 to 8 weeks ago. Unbelievably stupid, I know. I also don't actually know most of the groomsmen that well outside of Matthew either.